For her poor treatment, Duffield paid Starmer back with interest. On September the 28th, not long after she was returned to the Commons, Duffield quit the party. She did so with the most brutal resignation letter seen since Suella Braverman wrote to Sunak. Duffield's detractors insist she just wanted to make sure she was re-elected first, and had long been planning this. The Stormtroopers and Corbynistas were temporarily united in their condemnation and derision. The MP herself made the resignation primarily about the two-child cap and the removal of the winter fuel allowance. These were presented as the embodiment of Starmer's oppressive, out-of-touch and scandal-riven regime. The gifts and donations affair was referenced, contrasting Labour's programme of austerity with the riches and luxuries of its front benchers. Someone with far above average wealth choosing to keep the Conservatives' two-child limit to benefit payments, which entrenches children in poverty, while inexplicably accepting expensive personal gifts of designer suits and glasses costing more than most of these people can grasp. This is entirely undeserving of holding the title of Labour Prime Minister, forcing a vote to make many older people iller and colder while you and your favourite colleagues enjoy free family trips to events most people would have to save hard for. Why are you not showing even the slightest bit of embarrassment or remorse? As we can see in this quote, Starmer received ruthless personal criticism. This is unusual in such letters, which normally try to be conciliatory and respectful. As someone elevated immediately to a shadow cabinet position, without following the usual path of honing your political skills on the backbenches, you had very little previous political footprint. You have used various heavy-handed management tactics, but have never shown what most experienced backbenchers would recognise as true or inspiring leadership. Your promotion of those with no proven political skills and no previous parliamentary experience, but who happen to be related to those close to you, is frankly embarrassing. She also accuses Starmer of sitting by during the anti-Semitism row and not speaking out about it. That's taking what is a common attack line by Starmer and using it against him. Balancing this out, she also extends a branch to the Corbynites by condemning Sir Keir's treatment of Diane Abbott, moving to deselect her after she made a foolish remark about the Holocaust. Every line is a powerful quote. The piece is even a bit too long and indulgent, in need of some paring down, and that's coming from me. It needs to be seen in its entirety. Was this a cynical move? Did Duffield merely want to get elected first, and then use the austerity policies as a pretext to quit? It's possible. This was put to her during an interview with Unheard, and she denied it. However, she did not vote on the two-child cap included in the King's speech because she had COVID, some say conveniently. With the winter fuel allowance, she abstained. By her own account, she didn't want to lose the whip by voting against the government. People point to these facts to suggest she wasn't actually that bothered about these policies. In an interview with Andrew Neil, recorded before the election, she was not too critical of Starmer and even expressed some understanding of his position. She welcomed him changing his mind, in Neil's words, on the trans issue. She also said she'd received support over her security concerns and that Starmer had met with her a few weeks preceding the election, before the launch snub. Perhaps this was just a veneer, not wanting to dunk on her own side during an election. If so, she has a good poker face. She may have been acting tactically, but it's perfectly plausible she was maintaining party discipline until the austerity and gifts scandal pushed her over the edge. In the daily flow of bad news and policies for Labour, Duffield's strident resignation has been rather forgotten. Since it happened, we have had the Chagos Islands given away, a plan for 100 Labour staff members to campaign for Kamala Harris, a Labour MP accused of attacking somebody in the street, a possible cover-up over the Southport killings, and a budget mugging farmers with inheritance tax. The Duffield affair should not be forgotten. One of Labour's own has been driven away because she believes in biological fact and her party has not backed her up. Her departure reflects how Labour have not only alienated social conservatives over the trans issue, but also the left over their financially conservative austerity. The credentials with both sides are up in smoke. Duffield has nailed Starmer more effectively than most conservatives, expressing a rapid and widespread anger at his flawed government. As William Congreve wrote in The Morning Bride, "Heaven has no rage like love to hatred turned, nor hell a fury like a woman scorned."